It's witchcraft.
Hi, and welcome to the Solarium, Chelle and Layla's herb-filled, sunlit sanctuary, where we put down our brooms, hang up our pointy hats, and take off our super cool witch shoes to spend time in overstuffed chairs with iced tea, with
Piping hot weed.
with smokable spells, and, of course, all the latest books, decks, and sparkly goodies that we can find.
And I'm Shell, and I'm super excited today because not only is it 9,000 degrees and I've got the coldest tea on the planet, but we've got some good books. We've got some good stuff to talk about. And this is just actually going to be a really fun solarium. People are looking for some summer reads. We might have a couple summer reads, and you know how we are. Maybe a deck.
This solarium has got me so excited because we were sent not just some great books from Red Wheel Wiser, but we were also sent from the amazing Witch's Moon 3 boxes.
Oh
Three
my God.
boxes to review for all you
Oh
people.
my God.
And I am in awe, overjoyed. Holy cow, have we got some amazing things to tell you all about.
Well, before we get into the goodies of boxes, we are going to start off with a very good book. We are going to
I know
start
it's been a
off
minute
with,
since we've done one of these, but don't we usually start with what we're smoking before we get into the books?
we are going to start off with what we're smoking. So, and drinking. We're going to talk about what we're drinking too. I'm just drinking plain old iced tea because, as I previously said, it's 9,000 degrees. And if you are drinking hot tea right now, may the gods bless your temperature. Smoking, though, I've got myself some cereal milk, and it is delicious and it is moist considering how hot it is outside. It's smooth, it's a good daytime smoke, and I'm loving it. It's a uppity kind of get shit done, not melt into the couch and wish you got your to-do list done. So I'm loving this today.
I went very basic with my tea as well, and extraordinary with my cannabis as well. It's just been that kind of summer, I think. Just like you, iced tea, but I went with the Arnold Palmer, the half lemonade, half iced tea. That's how I like it. So that's my favorite, but super basic. For cannabis, this time I am smoking some purple Jack Hare.
You and your damn hairs.
I know. If you ever listen to the Stoned Witches Hour, you know that I am forever chasing the super spicy, tasty, delicious Jack Hare that I remember and usually failing. And while this one is different, it's very stony, it's very tasty. I do love a terpene rich bud. So this has a very high, very good stone and delicious terpene rich taste. So which I like, which is fabulous for hanging out and going through sparkly boxes and reading books. It's one of my favorite things. Get a little high, sit back in a nice comfy chair and read a few books. Who doesn't love that?
With the breeze blowing,
Yeah,
absolutely.
anything to get out of the sun, right?
Well, yeah, yeah. But it's also people are going on vacation, you're sitting on the beach, you're sitting in the woods, you need a good book. So let's start with a good book.
All right, well, let's start with this first one, The Witchitorium by Nixie Vale. And I'm starting with this one as a beach read because it's not a heavy read. It's a glossary of magic, witchcraft, and spirituality. And that's what it is. It is a good listing from A to Z of witch terms, of magical things that you should know, and it gives very good explanations.
I almost look at it kind of like a dictionary. I mean, I know they call it a glossary of terms, but for example, I just open up to a rando page here and I get to the D's dressing a candle. Okay, well, maybe you don't know what dressing a candle is. Well, guess what? This is about to tell you. It says when you dress a candle, you are adding herbs to the surface of the candle, which are associated to the intention and the focus of your spell. Well, if you did not know that, then here you go. So I kind of look at it almost like I hear these words, what do these words mean? Like a dictionary kind of book. I feel that this has some great uses. There were a couple of words in here that I had heard and didn't really know what they were and found out, but I would say that this is maybe more geared towards a newer witch, but by all means, an experienced veteran is going to find words and terms in here that you're going to be like, oh, no shit, I never heard that. Or I never knew what that meant, and I heard it a few times.
Exactly. If you are a witchling, this is definitely a good book for you. It has excellent definitions of all these different terms that you're going to hear. And just like Chelle, there was a word or two in here that I had never heard before. So it was very cool to be able to learn something new from that. But it also goes into a little bit of detail, not super detail, but when it talks about the Futhark runes, you get a list of all the runes and their meanings. When it talks about the history of magic, it gives you a short little history of magic. It's a solid, comprehensive book, super easy to read, not going to take you very long. So if you're hanging out and you can't really pay attention to a book while you're on vacation, this is the one for you. Informational, but it is just a glossary, so it's not going to take a lot of brain power.
Definitely going in my reference section. Good book.
Same.
Okay. So now let's go into our first box from the Witch's Moon.
Oh my goodness.
Like I can't
I don't even know what to tell you guys, but right from opening this box, the Witch's Moon, you feel like it's your birthday. You're getting presents. It's beautifully packaged. It's beautifully boxed. It just looks like something any witch would love. The Witch's Moon is a subscription box company, and they did send us these boxes at no charge. So just letting you know that. They are amazing. If you have never been to their site, run right now and check it out because everything there is gorgeous. If you like any kind of witchy stuff, witchy jewelry, supplies,
altar tools,
this is the place to check out because they're beautiful. They are not mass produced. You're going to find stuff here that's handmade, stuff that's local to them. They find artisans. I just love this company. I absolutely love them. So yeah, the first box is their box for June.
Their monthly moon box. So this is June's monthly moon box. That'll be our first box we go through. And the theme with this box, every month has a theme. But again, if you're not into the subscription thing, they do have an independent store where you can buy some things individually. But the theme for June was the sacred serpent. And boy, did they knock it out of the park with this box.
Holy crap. You open this box and it is immaculately packed, and every single one comes with beautiful artwork, cards, and they give you a letter that lists everything that's in it, but they also give you artwork that has magical correspondences related to the theme. So this month for June, we have the serpent. And this card has gorgeous hand-drawn artwork on it. It has the magical properties of serpents, botanicals and stones and colors related to serpent and serpent energy.
They have a beautiful 8x10 card that goes through the serpent rising through the chakras and has key points and info on the chakras. Like this artwork. I mean, we have bought and paid for our own boxes in the past, and we utilize this artwork as artwork. So it's probably the highlight of their monthly boxes to me is definitely their unique artwork. The third one we got was the Serpentine Current. Again, really gorgeous artwork.
And it's magical information. These are pages that could go in your Book of Shadows. If you wanted to, you could put these just as they are right into your Book of Shadows. I have a room divider, you know, those room dividers that you can put 8x10 photos in. Most of my room divider is filled with these pages from the Witch's Moon because, yes, these were sent to us at no charge, but Chelle and I are both customers of them. We have bought things from them in the past because they're fabulous. So, yeah, the artwork, top notch. And the letter does tell you exactly what's in the box, where it came from.
It's what its magical uses.
Yeah. I'm going to start with the biggest item in this box.
Tell
it's
us.
The first thing listed on the letter. And
Tell
this
everybody.
is a Witch's Moon exclusive, hand-carved serpent wisdom talisman. These are, what would you say, like 12 inches long? Acacia wood, carved snakes. Absolutely gorgeous. Holy crap. Packaged in like a black satin box with a sigil on the front of it with serpents. and it's nestled in a gorgeous black satin case so it doesn't get hurt.
With an amber looking stone about halfway down the wooden snake.
Amber eyes, amber stone. I freaking love this wand. You can just feel the artistry, the energy. It's just, oh my gosh. This is not something I expect in monthly witchy boxes.
I've actually used this for two different things already. I've used it as a wand and as a serpent representation. So it's actually got multiple uses. The next thing that came in the box that I'm a huge fan of, as always, we got a purple 12-inch beeswax candle. These folks are always given beeswax candles. They look to be, I don't know, they look to be hand rolled. Smell gorgeous. Every one I've ever burned from a Witch's Moon box is burned beautifully. And I thought the purple really went well with the serpent theme.
The thing I love about these boxes is everything that comes in it is usable immediately. You get that beeswax candle, you get a gorgeous incense, you get a stone, you get an oil, and they're all related to the theme of the box, but they're all freaking stuff I will use. None of it's cheesy. It's beautiful incense. Like I opened this one incense and it's thick. It's a stick incense, but it looks hand rolled. It's crumbly. It's good. It's quality. I love this.
The other thing that the boxes generally come with is herb packets. And I love making incense. I love burning shit. So the fact that they give you little herb packets is fabulous. And this particular one came with, 1 to 2 ounces of yarrow, blackberry leaf, and rose, as well as the serpentine stone and the serpent wisdom oil that they have hand created and give you a small bottle of. So, I mean, I can't even say all of the fabulous things about this box. You're getting a candle, you're getting an oil to work with, you're getting information to create a spell on the cards. We got a box of celestial sky incense that are just to die for.
And I know I've said this before, but the herbs come in little packets with stickers on the front, and the artwork and the information on these stickers is so cool. I very carefully peel it off the plastic. Sometimes it's easier than others. And then I put it on my jars, just as is.
Yeah.
And I put the herbs right in. They're so pretty.
I mean, everything from the Witch's Moon boxes are gorgeous. So that was the June box.
Witch's Moon subscription boxes in the United States are $58 per month. And for that, we got this artwork, pages that could go in a book of shadows, this absolutely gorgeous, handcrafted, beautiful wood and stone wand, as well as high quality magical supplies that I will use every month. Now, you and I both have beeswax candles that we've had forever. Why?
Yep, because we're afraid to burn them because they're so precious and we don't want to not have them.
That's right. So how cool is it?
I'm burning beeswax candles now.
If you have a subscription, every month you're getting a beeswax candle. So it's okay to use it. Use it for your spells. Use it for your offerings. You're going to get herbs, oils, candles, incense, beautiful things for your altar every month from the Witch's Moon. And again, not cheesy. Very, very cool. The stuff in this box worth way more than $58 if you were to buy it.
Oh, hell yeah.
It's amazing.
The wand alone, you'd spend $58
Easily. I would happily, if I saw that on a booth, yeah, no problem. Gorgeously packaged. Freaking love it. All right. So what's next on our list?
Next on our list is a fabulous book. And I know that we kind of missed the mark cutting this close for Pride Month, but
hey, every month can be Pride Month.
Every month is Pride Month, and baby, you were born this way, man.
Queer Saints,
a radical guide to magic, miracles, and the modern intercession by Antonio Pagliarulo. This is a very good book.
Yeah.
Very good book.
Now, if you're going on vacation and you're not going to be partying and maybe a little too inebriated to pay attention to a heavy book. So if you're going to do that, maybe get the Witchitorium, let that soak in. It's a little easier. But if you're going to really want something to read, to have a good time with, dig your teeth into, get Queer Saints. holy crap, this book was way cooler than I thought it was going to be.
I'm not going to lie. I was like, oh boy, this is going to try to convert me into Christianity. I can
Oh,
feel
yeah.
it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, with a title like Queer Saints,
I
I
worried
really
about that
thought
too.
I really thought that this was going to try to pull me down a road, and it did not. A and B, the people that have been sanctified by this author is just I could see myself doing a ritual to the great God Freddie Mercury. That's all I'm saying.
I've been doing them my whole life. Now I know it's an actual thing.
Once I got into it and started reading it, it absolutely was not what I thought it was. You know, it kind of gave me a different perspective. That didn't even have anything to do with the queer aspect either. Honestly, I think it was just more the view on saints that this particular author, his angle, made it not so Christiany.
The way Antonio talks about saints, he says right in the book, and I'm going to quote it, "This book redefines the meaning of sainthood. In doing so, it creates a new pantheon of powerful intercessors for our times." And he says, "The modern recasting of saints speaks to who we are individually and collectively. They are gay, trans, bisexual, and asexual. They are priests and poets, sex workers and scientists, artists and activists. Some created fashion and music, others dedicated their lives to social justice." And by redefining saints as people who are us, but maybe bigger than us, and did things like us, but importantly, I don't know, things that we should pay attention to, it's honoring the human, it's honoring who we are in all of our forms. And that made me look at saints differently. And I loved who this author defines as a saint and how they're defined. And it makes so much sense as you go through.
Well, and you know, for me personally, there was a twist in this book that I did not see coming. You know, we've talked in previous episodes about how, I mean, I was kind of raised with this quasi rough edges around Christianity upbringing. And when I was growing up, the church that was right down the street from me that we would go to on Christmas and Easter, because that's all my mother could tolerate, was originally called St. Catherine's. And when I became a teenager, they changed the name of it to St. Francis of Assisi, which that was just confusing to me to begin with on how you just random rename a church. But like I kind of knew the story about St. Catherine from growing up and that being the church. But I never, by the time they switched the name, I never really knew the story of St. Francis of Assisi. And so in reading Queer Saints, come to find out, St. Francis of Assisi was actually considered one of the queer saints by the author here. And I got to kind of read a whole backstory that I wish I knew when I was like 14. Not that I would have dove into the church by any stretch of the imagination, but it would have made those Christmas and Easters and other random things less hard pill to swallow. You know what I'm saying? So this kind of gave me information that I didn't knew I wanted, I guess is my point.
Yeah, I see that. I can see that. The beginning of this book talks about what saints are and why being human, being messy is important to being saintly, I guess. It's part of that process.
But being saintly doesn't mean perfection, I think, is
Exactly.
another good point.
Yes, exactly. Being messy, absolutely being human makes this relatable. And so they talk about, like you mentioned, St. Francis of Assisi. They talk about saints that you will have heard before from the Christian pantheon, from that whole system. And it explains how it makes them more human and makes them more pagan, it seemed to me.
It gives you a sense of some of these saints that even to this day are still highly revered. Not only were they human and had human aspects to them, but some of them were a part of the what we now know as the LGBTQA plus community, including St. Francis, Sergius and Bacchus, Perpetua and Felicity. I guess it kind of opened my eyes to stories that were already there that I wasn't being told the whole story to. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Saints that existed that were queer, that were gender bending,
Right.
that were in relationships, saints like Hildegard of Bingen. She's credited with having the first writings about the female orgasm. And that was in 1098. 1098 was when she was
Yeah.
born. So yeah, that's not a time when you would think someone, let alone someone in a Christian religion, would talk about the female orgasm. And she did other stuff too. She was kind of a feminist, described here as a feminist and a badass. So this will give you all sorts of information, like you said, that you would not have heard of if you ever went to Sunday school. You probably would not have heard of these sides of the saints, these historically accurate but very queer sides of the saints.
But there's also a section on how, saints and folks who practiced witchcraft, they were kind of part of the same liminal space. And, it kind of delves into that aspect of it, which again, I found fascinating.
Yeah. I also really like the correlation between activism and saints, how a lot of these saints were people who fought for marginalized folk, who did fight to help others. And I think that's an important part of the saints that Antonio chose as modern saints. The last thing in the book before the new saints is how to work with saints and how to petition them. And I very much enjoyed that part of the book as well.
I did too, because, I guess I previously viewed them not the same as deity, because that's not what I'm trying to get across, but that I would summon them in a similar same fashion as deity, or that you would call upon them in the same similar fashion as deity. So learning Antonio's method of making that connection, quote unquote, making that phone call, I really liked, because like I said, saints were never something I was familiar with. And this kind of gave me a little bit of intrigue.
Same. I'm also not really a saints kind of person. So reading this book helped me to see them from my perspective, more of working with ancestors or land spirits. And the sections on offerings and reciprocity to them was very similar to me of how I work with ancestors and land spirits and spirits of that type. So that made it very familiar to me as well. And I very much enjoyed reading about how to work with saints. And then when I get to the modern saints, there are several I will be working with going forward. That's for sure. This was a very fun and interesting part of the book.
The second half of this book was so much fun. Obviously, we're not going to sit here and list off all of the modern saints in here. I am going to list off a couple that I flagged because I was like, yes. The first one, and I'm sure you picked this as well, is Saint David Bowie. He is the patronage of gender nonconformity, innovation, reinvention, songwriters, and rock music. And his feast day is January 10th. And then it goes and gives you multiple pages on David Bowie and how you can honor him and utilize that spirit.
Yep. David Bowie and Freddie Mercury obviously were two of the ones I jumped right to. Like I opened the book right to Saint Freddie Mercury. And you touched on one of the things I liked about this is you'll see under each of these saints their patronage, basically what they're the saint of, I guess you could think of that as. Then what their feast day is, a history about them and why they're a saint. Then their magical attributes, including a tarot card that you can relate to them. Saint Freddie Mercury is the magician, by the way. There's also sacred offerings specific to that saint, and then a spell. And Freddie Mercury's is a spell for creative communication. There's also information on how to work your altar to them. And it's just very well researched, really, really good information.
This next one that I want to point out, very near and dear to a lot of people nationwide, St. Matthew Shepherd.
Holy shit, that's the next one on my list too. That's the one that made me cry.
Yeah, patronage of hate crime and murder victims, careers in humanitarianism and human rights, and queer youth. And again, all the same things that you stated. Another fabulous person, again, near and dear to my tarot heart, is Rachel Pollack. She is the patron of tarot and tarot readers, transgendered women, science fiction and comic book writers, queer spirituality.
We've got Saint Scott Cunningham in here, Saint Tina Turner, which I love. How do you not love Saint Tina Turner?
That's funny because I had Scott Cunningham too, and then I had Tina Turner too.
Yeah, she's queer allyship, survivors of domestic violence, healing arts, singers, Buddhists. you can find a saint to work with here. Maybe deity work is not your thing. Maybe you're not into land spirits. Maybe you feel disconnected from your ancestors. You can find a saint that speaks to you. You can find one of these saints that has qualities that you need or qualities that you admire and work with that saint. And this book gives you the tools to do that. It's fantastic.
And not only I kind of also looked at it from a heritage perspective as well. And I'm going to give you my final two examples here. You know that I love myself the British monarchy. I can't help it. And there is a section in here on Saint Diana, Princess of Wales, a queer ally. And then I also wanted to mention there's also Saint Edmund Eddie Byczynski, who is the American pioneer for the Welsh traditional community here in America.
Oh, and real quick, I just also want to point out that they're not all saints. Sometimes, like Rachel Pollack is Zadok, or the men are Tzaddik if they're Jewish. So it's not just from a Christian lens.
Actually, that is a good point to make, because I think this book that speaks to the point that this book was done in a very, very respectful manner. If you're into looking into saints, queer saints, I think this book is packed full of knowledge, packed full of info, and there's also some good. You're gonna chuckle a little bit when you read it too.
It's a fun read, informational and good.
It is a fun read, but like you said, then I got to the pages on Matthew Shepard, and I did tear up a little bit. So you kind of have that joyous up and down thing going on with this book. But I think this book is good whether you are a part of the LGBTQA plus community or an ally. I think this is equally good for allies.
It's just a great book.
Yeah, don't let the title make you think that it's for a specific population, because this is a great
I don't think it's just for Christians either.
Yeah.
It's not for Christian witches. I am the furthest thing from a Christian witch, and I love this book.
Like I said, I was a little hesitant when I saw the title, but after finishing it, I was like, this is a damn good book.
Yeah, great book. Fantastic. Highly recommend.
A damn good book.
5 Brooms Up. Queer Saints by Antonio Pagliarulo. Excellent book. So that brings us to our next box.
Our next box from The Witch's Moon. This is a box called The Witch's Roots. This box is generally more of herbal focus, and again, great stuff in this box. Similar to the monthly box, this box has great artwork. This Witch's Root box starts off with Artemis artwork, and they have a whole gorgeous depiction of Artemis and then some information. And then on the second sheet, they go into some of the herbal associations with some of the herbs that they have sent in the box and how they relate. And like I said, you get the one of the pieces of artwork goes into some of the herbs and how they associate with Artemis and their correspondences. And then you get those herbs in small bags.
One of the fun things with these boxes is that you're included a random card. So you'll get a random oracle or tarot card or divination card in there. So not only is it fun to see what you get, but if you collect them, you could add them to your magpie set. Just saying.
Magpie deck, here we come.
Exactly. So in this box as well, which is $33, and that includes shipping, by the way, every month you're going to get oils, incense sticks, a beeswax candle. And like we said, who doesn't love knowing you're going to get a beeswax candle every freaking month so that you can use the one that you've got in the spell so that you can get a raise at work.
And you also get a stone or a crystal. And the highlight of this particular box this month was we got an Artemis necklace, which was just gorgeous.
Yes, the Artemis necklace. I have mine. I wore it, and I also have it hanging right now over my altar, and I love it.
And again, a beeswax candle for me to burn, because now I have some to burn and I don't have to save them for a special occasion.
And again, The stickers are all coming off the baggies and going on my jars because they look so pretty. These ones came off way easier. I love it.
It does come with the little bags of dried herbs. So this particular bag for Artemis came with vetiver, mugwort, and wormwood. And it also came with a little charcoal burner so that you could either burn them independently, make a little mixture of your own. I added some stuff from the previous box and made my own little combination of things to burn on it. So this was a really great box, I think. And again, it's kind of designed more towards a earthy direction.
Yeah, the Witch's Roots subscriptions all have a featured magical herb, custom artwork, ritual oil, an intention stone, a spell candle, an incense, some type of coin, magical talisman, something like that. The letter that has a very detailed description of everything in there, including magical uses, meanings, where it came from, all of that, and the possibility of extras. So they're just packed full. For $33, and that included the shipping, that's a lot of stuff.
Honestly, the letter is equally as important as the information on the card as far as I'm concerned.
And the oils and the incenses that they include,
the blends are fabulous.
Always fabulous. All right, definitely a fantastic box. Okay, so next we get to go to an oracle deck. This is from Red Wheel Wiser, and it is the Four Selves Oracle by Toni Savory with artwork by Carrie Paris.
Now, oracles aren't always my first go-to, but this particular deck is very interesting to me. I find this different than any other oracle deck that I've seen. Maybe it's just the artwork on it.
Artwork's gorgeous, by the way.
Yeah, the artwork just speaks to me in a different way. But this deck is supposed to represent the four selves: the physical self, the conscious self, the subconscious self, and the superconscious self, which exists in all of us. So it's supposed to be bringing the balance of that together, and the deck will communicate those four selves through this deck. I like these as kind of guiding cards. I like that they don't have a lot of verbiage on them, because some oracle decks can have a lot of verbiage on them.
These cards I use as clarifiers in tarot readings, and I absolutely love them. They're a deep royal blue, which I love, with gold accents. And the pictures, it's full color, full picture on the inside. There's no border or anything like that. And they feel very much like intuition boosters. Like you said, there's just one word on each card. There's no elaborate description, which I hate. Those feel like they lock my brain in a certain direction, and I don't want that when I'm trying to do a reading. So these are just one word, and then a beautiful, like watercolor and ink picture, an image that goes along with that word, that theme. And they're just fantastic for allowing your subconscious, your magical brain to really latch on to all sorts of meanings, get all sorts of clarifications with it.
Now, when I do like an oracle deck here and there, I like it as you said, as a clarifier more so than to do an oracle spread. And this deck is absolutely fabulous and gorgeous for that purpose that I would use it for a clarifier card or two. There's been times where I've needed 4 clarifiers, but I'm not big on doing full-on spreads with oracle decks.
Same.
But I definitely, the artwork does speak to me, which for an oracle deck is rare. And this is something I would put in my rotation 110% for 1 card, 2 card, 3 card clarifiers to a tarot spread.
Yeah, I find myself reaching for the Crystal Keys Tarot that we recently, actually we have a review on that coming up. I find myself reaching for this oracle deck as clarifiers for that deck very often. It's just a beautiful deck, and the imagery, for whatever reason, it makes it very easy to get messages from. I like reading with this oracle deck. Like you said, as a clarifier.
I think probably my favorite card in this deck is called Void. The card looks exactly what you think it might look like. It looks like a void out in space. I think that was the card, and there's another card called the Rainbow. Those 2 cards were the ones that kind of made me click with them as far as enhancements to a tarot spread or clarifier type cards, because there is something in that pastel artwork that just screams at you, I
I
think.
wouldn't say it's like very rich pastel, like gemstone colors. I wouldn't say it's like
Yeah, yeah,
light
yeah,
pastel.
yeah.
I can't pick a favorite card because each one, every time I'm like, oh yeah, this is my favorite. Then I flip to the next one. I'm like, oh wait, no, this one's my favorite. And then the next one's my favorite. Yeah, that's how it goes. But what I'm looking at right now is roots. And this is one that I absolutely love because it shows like the roots of a plant. But above it, instead of a plant, you see the double strand helix of DNA. And in the background, hidden in this almost outer space nebula looking background, is writing, is words. And there's just so much depth of meaning that you can pull from this card. They're all layered like this, consistent throughout the whole deck. Every card is cool. Every card is fully layered like that. And that's why I really like it.
And Layla, these are also cards that you can kind of almost like look beyond that initial image because it's like there's almost images in the background that you can focus on as well, which I'm a fan of. So very
Absolutely.
deep imagery, great symbolism. Overall, fabulous deck. If you are into Oracle decks, whether it's for spreads or just as supplements, totally worth it.
All right, so the next box that we have from the Witch's Moon is the Witch's Bounty. And holy shit, we saved the best for last. This one right here made me gasp.
Oh my God.
For
Oh
real.
my God.
The Witch's Bounty is a jewelry subscription box. And this subscription is $82, and that does include shipping. And holy cow.
Holy cow. Let's just start with the obvious. How about that? We're just going to start right out big. These bounty boxes came with a rope and pendant. The pendant is what looks like thorned rose stalks, like it looks like thorny roses. Then it has got two garnets in it, gorgeous garnets, good sized garnets as well. But then in a lighter metal color, it's got two roses. So you've got kind of that goldish color with the thorns in the stalk. And then you've got this like silvery color as the roses with the two red garnets. Holy shit.
Absolutely beautiful, fairy looking pendant. Stunning. Roses, garnets, gold, silver. It's just absolutely gorgeous. We both immediately put them on.
These things are so beautiful.
Absolutely stunningly beautiful. And don't think that these are mass produced items because they are not. These
Nope.
boxes are sourced specifically by the Witch's Moon team, which is very small, by the way. Each month is based on a specific energy, and they curate and search for the unique handcrafted items, and then they store them in Sedona, Arizona, a place, quote, known for its energy vortexes and metaphysical communities. They spend intentional energy searching out this jewelry. They magically store it. They magically care for it. One of the amazing things about the Witch's Moon isn't just that they have cool shit, it's that they're freaking witches. They take care of this stuff like a witch would. They want to send you actual magical items that come from artisans, that come from crafters, that come from other people who are magical in their own way. They want you to have the most beautiful magical practice that you can have. And that's what I freaking love about this place.
And aside from this freaking fabulous necklace, we also got hand rolled cinnamon stick incense. We got rose quartz stone. We got rose oil. And then again, my favorite, a beeswax candle. This box also came with a card that was pulled that can be added again to your magpie deck. So we each received a card with this one. Mine was gorgeous. It looked like a crow lady that had parrots on her shoulders. Absolutely gorgeous.
The oracle reading in this box, which part of my favorite thing here is the oracle card that comes in some of these boxes. And this one was from the Medicine Heart Oracle deck, the Panda Edition, by Alana Fairchild and Sophie Wilkins. They intuitively select these for the boxes that they go in. These are witches, people. The Witch's Moon isn't just people trying to make a buck here. They're witches. All this stuff has been intuitively selected, including the oracle cards that they put in the box. So you get what you get. And I love adding it to my magpie deck. So I'm just saying it's not just cool shit here. I think that the fact that you can feel the intention and the magic and the joy that these people have for all of us, every box blows me away. I just freaking love it.
You know that feeling you get when you open a box full of cool shit?
Yes, yes, I do. I happen to get it thanks to the witch's moon.
But I feel like they put that energy in there. It's almost like when you open the box, they're jumping out for joy with you as you're
Yeah.
jumping for joy opening it. You know what I mean? Like you can
Yes,
feel
yeah.
they want you to find magic in their boxes. And damn it, spot on, knocked it out of the park. They win because there is
Stunning.
magic in those boxes.
And the artwork, I'm not sure who the artist is, but it's got to be somebody over at the Witch's Moon.
We got to ask them.
I'm going to ask. I have some hints. I think I have an idea of who it might be, but holy cow. Like I've said earlier in the episode, I display this artwork because I love all of it. It's all over my witchy space. I put their labels on my jars in my apothecary. The magical intention, the joy, the energy that they put into each of these boxes is apparent. So you're saving money and getting cool stuff every month. I highly recommend at least check them out. You can go to their witch store. You don't have to get a subscription box. You can buy some of their cool stuff right at the store. But check them out. Check out the website, thewitchesmoon.com, and see what speaks to you. Oh, and don't forget, you have a discount code, BOTB10, to get 10% off. Not boxes, but anything in the store.
I think my biggest thing with the Witch's Moon is, yeah, the boxes are cool and the stuff is cool and fucking amazing.
Yeah.
But they're just good damn people.
And
Like they're
amazing
just
witches.
good damn people that I like.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, they sent us this stuff for free. I know we've already said that, but I buy stuff from them because I like them. I like them. I like their ethics. I like their stuff. So why not support people that you like?
All right, Layla. We've had a lot of boxes. We've had some books and a deck. I'm whooped and my teacup is empty.
It is time to go put all of this gorgeous stuff up on my shelves, on my altar, and, I think I'm going to go back through the Queer Saints book again because that was pretty interesting. Curl up with yet another good book. All right, so we will see you all next week, probably on an episode. I think when this comes out, we are traipsing around the woods somewhere in New York State at a festival, I think. So we'll be sending you some energy from the drum circles every night. Think of us and we'll send that out to you. I hope you're all enjoying your summer, but we will see you next time.
I hope you folks stay wise, stay wicked, and keep drumming in your nights.
Keep your summertime witchy.